Hello, hello, hello. Happy Monday. What is up, you guys? It is me, Pro Living Tips, coming at you live again. This time we're going to start off right. It's Monday. You know what that means. Today I'm going to specialize on shoulders and form. All right. A lot of people usually use Mondays for chest. I like chest, but I usually focus on my shoulders. Not because I feel like the chest isn't necessary on a Monday, but I feel like your shoulders actually are the most utilized groups of muscles in terms of like push and pull. So let's get back to that. All right, so in shoulders today, I'm going to have some mini clips in between to show you what I mean. But usually, I usually go like for an hour to an hour and a half at best. Hour and a half if I'm really heavy weights, because I just take a little bit more time in between my sets, like a minute at most. I usually take maybe like 10 to 15 seconds in between my sets. To all newcomers, I highly recommend keeping your sets high, so 10 to 15, finding that form, keeping it right. And then for all you heavy lifters who follow me, probably not, but for all you heavy lifters, please go from like, I usually go like minimum 4 reps, maximum 6 reps. But I do a pyramid scheme, so I try to hit as much as I can on the 4 reps. All right. So the reason I hit shoulders once more is because I feel like it's the biggest group of muscles that gets hit the hardest on most push and pull factors. Whether it also be legs too. Most of the times using the bar, you have to rest it on your traps, which is actually connected to your shoulders pretty heavily. Little quick insight on shoulders. Your shoulders are connected to your traps, which are going to be these little bad boys right here. Those connect into your neck, as well as they connect into your lats. Okay? Your shoulders control a lot of motion, okay? As well as to your elbows and your knees. So now the question is, how you can hit all these muscles are usually very complex, and that's why I want to tell you more about your shoulders. As I grew into fitness, I found out that the shoulders are usually one of the hardest groups of muscles to hit perfectly. Just because there are a lot of ranges of motions to hit them, okay? So, boom, let's start it off. Warming up and stretching. Come on, you guys. Basic stretches, all right? Here we go. All right, you guys. So here are some basic stretches for usually your shoulders, to your chest, as well as to your triceps. All of these stretches also are combined with some cervical stretches, which are going to be all of your neck and into your traps. Okay, so a lot of times people don't think that these matter, but they do. A lot of times we use our head to kind of throb out so we can kind of push harder, or we don't even notice it, but our heads are forward. Your head should never be forward when you're working out. Your body is designed to where if you're working out, your body should be perfectly postured. Posture is everything. So my opinion to you is, first we're going to start off with these stretches, afterwards I'm going to hit posture, and then afterwards I'm going to hit that form, okay? What key form is needed on each exercise, all right? These are built for you to expand your knowledge, as well as to understand that form is everything when you're working out, all right? So the first stretch I like to start off with are going to be more cervical, so it's going to come up into your neck. First thing I like to do is pretty much straighten out my body. So what I want to do is bring out my chest, lock my head back, keep my body as straight as possible, tighten up my lower back so then nothing is moving around too much, and what I want to do is touch your ear to your shoulder without moving the direction of your face. So as you can see, it doesn't move. You want to try to touch that ear to that shoulder. You're going to feel a big stretch coming down straight from the side, and you want to hold that for 10 seconds. Hypothetically. I'm just going to do it really quick because I just want to go through these fast. Next side, you can even hear your neck crack sometimes. It's not a bad thing. It just shows that pretty much the hyperflexibility of your neck. After a while, these stretches will help you actually kind of not calibrate, but kind of set it into place, because your spinal cord works with all your muscles going down, from your traps all the way down to your lower back. If something is a little too tight, what it's going to do is start to pull it to that side. When that happens, it's called a subluxation, and that is bad for you. You know why? Without a straight column, or should I say without your straight spinal cord, you're not going to get the max potential out of what you want. There are 3 curves in your spinal cord. The first curve, the cervical, it's going to dip in. Second is going to be where your chest frame is at. It's going to dip backwards. Third is going to be your lower back. That's why you have that nice little curve below. So that's why you have this. Okay, so that's your lumbar. Thoracic's middle, cervical's top. Okay, so now we're done with these neck stretches. Now we're going to go into the triceps. You're going to bring this arm across. As you can see, I'm kind of like hugging myself. You can even hug yourself, but preferably I usually keep my arm straight, tucking it in as close as possible. As you can see, this is where it's going to be hitting the most, as well as to the rear part of your shoulders and into your lats, as you can see. Switch. You want to keep that stretch going. 10 seconds on each side. I usually do 2 per side, but this is hypothetical. So those are your triceps right there, as well as your shoulders. Now we're going to hit the shoulders even harder. What you want to do is tuck your fingers in like this, like you're holding your own hands. And what you want is body straight and try to reach down as possible. This is going to help out with your neck as well as your shoulders. And switch. And you can do it behind your back as well. As you can see, my shoulders will show even more. And boom. 10 seconds. Relax. Okay, after you do that, what I want you to do, at this point, you're starting to get your shoulders nice and relaxed, your triceps starting to get relaxed. What I want you to do is work on that chest. Your chest is going to get hit hard, so what you want to make sure is your chest is ready for this, all right? So you want to do is grab like the edge or door frame. I usually use an edge. I lay my hand flat on that edge, and what I want to do is my body's going to be directly in front of it with my shoulder lined up perfectly on the same level, as you can see. And now what I want to do is keep my body straight, looking forward, and I want to pull my hip forward. As you can hear, if you did hear that, that's going to help out with your chest as well as to your lower back. What this does is creates that long, elastic chest muscle to go all the way back. So what that does is when you're ready to start doing like flies or anything of that nature, is going to be ready to pull, all right? Same thing on this side. You know, like I said, just stretch. You want to keep that hand there, pull this hip forward, and you'll feel it right into here. Okay? All right. So we stretch out a little bit of chest, a little bit of shoulders, and a little bit of triceps. What I like to do is make sure that if you don't feel good enough with the stretches, I usually grab 5-pound dumbbells, maybe even 2.5, or even the 5-pound like little circular pretty much weights. And what I do is I cup it or grab it, and what I do is I keep my body straight. As you can see, I pop my chest out, keep my head back, keep my body as straight as possible. And what I want to do is with this, with my fists on my side, kind of twirl the weight around without moving my arms too much, okay? Just moving the wrists and letting them do the work. And what that does is kind of hits your shoulders, hits a little bit of your triceps, as well as hits your forearms, which are about to work out as well, regardless. All right? Some people have really tight forearms as well. All you really want to do is keep your arms straight and pull these fingers back. What that's going to do, going to hit that forearm muscle, as you can see right in that middle. Perfect. Same thing. 10 seconds on each side as you want. You can do reverse too, where you're kind of pointing your fingers down, and when you want to just cup it in, it's going to hit the, as you can see, right there in the forearm. Boom, right there in that forearm. Your forearms are so important. I'm going to tell you this much. The biggest thing that I hated was pulling my forearm muscles sometimes, or I would just overdo it. I usually highly recommend to you guys using getting wrist support, or getting some, or getting maybe lumbar support as well. I have a belt and I have wrist support with some grip on them. Let me show you. Boom. These are called VersaGrips. I'm not really trying to advertise them, but I feel like these are my favorite ones. What they end up doing is giving you a rubber slash elastic, like very sticky stuff on this like part. So it not only does it help your hands, so I don't really have too much calluses, but it also helps out in terms of keeping on the bar or keeping the weights in place all the time. It's really good, but it deteriorates a lot of your forearm muscles. So depending on how you want to take it, a lot of people use chalk, but that shit, I mean, that stuff will really mess up your hands, okay? So just know that much. Basic stretches on the upper half, as well as that. Little advanced stretches for the neck. If you really feel neck tightness, a lot of people do, especially when we're working out with the shoulders and stuff later on. I highly recommend just doing the same thing with the head to the side, but instead what you want to do is look 45 to your left and down. And what that does is it gives you abnormal stretch for the cervical area as well. And 45 to the right. And good. And you can even go straight down. What this does, it just helps out. These stretches, you'll feel like perfect afterwards. Reduce headaches. It'll just really alleviate a lot of your headaches and neck tightness. A lot of people need to be doing this before and after your work, just due to the fact that you're at a computer all day and your head's so forward. That's bad. That's what creates a lot of these headaches. A lot of blood runs through these rear parts right in here. like two massive blood arteries that control like the blood flow into your brain. That's why headaches usually start from the rear and come forward. So if you guys feel a lot of headaches, stretch more. I highly recommend it to help you out with those headaches. Alright, you guys, so this first little mini clip of exercise that I want to show you, basic warm-ups. So here you go. The basic warm-ups that I highly recommend to you are most of the rotational muscles in your shoulders, as well as into your elbows, and also helping out that, like, pretty much getting your chest ready for all the pain that's coming up, mainly on the upper part of your chest. So your chest is divided into 3 sections: your upper, middle, and lower. Most of your shoulder exercises actually affect your upper. As you can see that division right there, they're all connected into one. And what that also does, it helps out pretty much the strength in terms of closing, as you can see right there. Alright, so the first exercise I recommend to you guys, just to warm up and get all that, pretty much the mobility of your shoulders, especially if you have like damaged shoulders as well. What I recommend to you is grabbing a weight, and all you want to do is pretty much like kind of going off of like something, and all you want to do is rotate it clockwise. What this does, it starts to build the mobility of that shoulder, especially if you're injured. This is great for you. Same thing, switch. And what I do is do clockwise 10 times and then counterclockwise 10 times with the weight. This will help out, get all the stuff ready, get most of the lactic acid out of your shoulder, as well as that scar tissue. So right after that, what I recommend is called opening and closing the door. These are very basic. Do these with very light weight just to help warm your muscles up. So the first one, I usually grab 5 pounds. Like I said, 2.5 depending on how you feel. And what I do is, first thing is by tucking my elbows in. As you can see, I tuck my elbows in as much as I can. Obviously my lats don't let me. Tuck them in as close as I can. Put my hands in the L shape. Perfect L, as you can see. This is the proper form right there. If you keep this L, it'll hit perfectly, okay? So now what I want you to do is, I'm only show one arm just because it's easier. So what I want to do is from this form, open up the door and close the door. Open up all the way until you hit it. As you can see, as you can hit it right there and close all the way. Open and close. So what I technically would feel is open and close. Open and close. Open and close. Do those 3 sets of like 10 to 15. That's natural in my opinion, because not only will that help out, that also helps out with most like rear lats, anything that's kind of like distinguished for like back as well, because that will help you out a lot in mobility. Second exercise to warm you up are going to be the same thing, but now you're going to go in an upwards motion. So it's like you're flexing, but instead of having your hand like this, you're going to have it pointed forward with your knuckles. Okay, what you want to do is keep that nice L form, as you can see, and go down all the way and all the way up. Try to keep that elbow in place the whole time, and this will actually help out your full shoulder length as well. So let me try to dip it down so you can see it. Boom, 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 boom. All right, that's round 2. After you do those for 15, 3 sets, the last one I highly recommend are just going to be, I kind of call them like butterflies in a sense. So all you really want to do is just open up straight out, keeping your shoulders, elbows, and wrists in the same line. What you want to do is just go down and up, down and up, down and up. Okay? What I like to do is keep my fists like this, or keep the weight perfectly balanced with my arm. You can change up your wrist as much as you want. It's going to dictate what you're hitting, as well as to, if you want, you can go forward, out, and down. Out, forward, and down. Those are the most iconic shoulder hits that you can do. Some also go like from the point of, like, so some people also do this. It just depends on how you feel. You got to feel these out. If you think it burns better with certain exercises, just keep to it. You switch it up next month and you'll see as you're progressing. There are exercises that hit people better, and there are exercises that just aren't made for them, obviously. So another one would be forward, down. Or you can go all the way up, which would be all the way up and down. Okay? Those are great warm-up exercises. Start really build up that range of motion in the shoulders, okay? Boom. Alright, so in these next few videos, you're going to see a few different workouts as well that I would do usually for myself. These are things that hit me better. These are things that I've come across that I've liked a lot. Like I said, your shoulders is a set of complex muscles, so you really got to hit that range of motion. After you start hitting it perfectly and you start to see the difference, you don't want to do just one specific set of exercises. You got to understand your shoulder is 3 parts: front, center, and rear. You got to hit all of it, so the thing is you can maximize the whole muscle group. In my opinion, a car can't have big wheels on a small car. You got to have proper wheels for the proper car to function it just as good. So now the thing is, you got to understand that everything in your body is better proportional rather than it being mammoth on one side. So in my opinion, I try to make sure I can stabilize everything on a good weight and slowly build up from there. After you build up from there, you start to see that you're able to push more, as well as that you can control better. A lot of people don't understand that control is everything. It really is. How much dedication you put into your form is how much you're going to really get out of the workout. You can do squats and do it like 2/3 of the way, but you won't get the full potential from the squat, obviously. So my opinion to you is don't slack and make sure that form is proper, okay? So as I'm going to be seeing these videos with you, I'm going to help dictate what you need to keep in mind when doing these workouts. And so here we go.